Alright, so here is right by the front door is your main panel where you have everything that you need to worry about in here. So the main thing here is your level indicator. So bottom button is battery, and it'll tell you what your battery levels are, so you know if you need to plug in or start the generator or what have you. Then your fresh tank level, your black tank, gray 1 and gray 2, so it'll tell you when you need to fill your fresh tank or when you need to empty your waste tanks. They are pretty accurate. They might be a gallon or two off, but they are definitely pretty accurate and tell you when you need to dump them and all that. So this button here is for your water pump. It's just got an indicator light. It is on, it's pressured up, everything's good. These two buttons here, like I was telling you, are for the water heater. So far as the electric side, you just flip this switch, and when it's on, it uses the electric element to heat it. But this side is for gas, so when you turn this on, it sends a signal to the board and tells it to light and send propane and all that. Eliminates you having to have a pilot or anything like that. It just does auto ignition and gets it flamed up and heated up for you real quick. Here you got your fuel gauge and all that for your generator, and this is a timed 15-minute interval switch for the fuel pump outside, which there is a switch out there as well, but you'd come in here, turn it on, go out there, and there's a secondary switch that you would turn on and fuel up. Here is your generator hours and your start and stop button for cranking it and killing it. You have ceiling lights, floodlights for outside, so this is DS and ODS. What that stands for is door side and opposite door side. And you have porch lights. Then you have awning buttons, so you run the awning out, run it in to retract, and you just pull it till it's tight. There's no locking, there's no flipping switches, none of that. It's just in or out. Then you have the light switch for the awning, and then you actually have a slide button here. So there's two slides, but they're all operated from one button because it's on a hydraulic system. So at the weakest point, whenever you're pushing that button, it's gonna allow the hydraulic fluid to go where it wants. Usually, when they're both in and you hit the button, bed slide's gonna come out first because it's lighter, and then the secondary couch slide will come out as soon as that one's maxed out. And it will tell you whenever it's done and fully extended and all that. You do have Yeti Pack. What that is there's stick-on heaters, kind of like block heaters or what have you, just little 12-volt heaters that keep your waste tanks from freezing or what have you. We got light switches. And down here, this is a secondary switch for the water heater, so you have to have this one and this one on for the water heater to work. That's pretty much it for that. We have your thermostat here, which this only controls this one zone, which is in here. You have, so when you first turn it on, it goes to the fan mode, and you mostly want to keep it on auto. We do get some customers that are confused sometimes that they'll put this on high thinking it'll change their speed of their furnace or what have you. Furnace only has one speed, but your air conditioner has both speeds, high and low. But if you have the fan on high or low and you turn the furnace on, your air conditioner is going to kick on as well. Well, not the condenser, but just the fan in it. But if that's what you're looking for, because you just want to circulate air, then that's fine. But I recommend keeping it on auto, and just keeps a little confusion out of it. So for the air conditioner, it's tied into this as well as the furnace. So you can turn it to cool, set it to your desired temperature. It'll kick on, and if you have it set to like 80 or what have you, whenever it reaches 80, it'll kick off and then kick back on whenever it needs to again. And same thing goes for the furnace. You just turn it on and then go to your desired temperature, and it will kick on as well. And if you have it set at 88, like I said, it'll kick on. If it goes below 88, it'll kick back off if it goes above 88, just like a regular house. And then you could actually turn it completely off where nothing's running. And as we get in here, you just got the TV and entertainment center. It's actually got DVD player, TV, all your remotes and everything. It is hooked up with surround that is inside the corners of the slide and the corners of the kitchen. It does have a fireplace, which this is just like a space heater, so it only runs off of electric. But you let this face down. It's got a on-off button. But once you have it on, you could have the flame setting, and you can go to brighter or dimmer. And you could actually set it at a desired temperature. So if you want to set it at 77, you could leave it there and it'll kick on and kick off when it needs to. You could do the strength of the heating element, which is 750 watts or 1500 watts or automatic, and then you can turn it to completely off. But that's just a secondary line, so you don't have to run your furnace all the time. It helps a little bit, you know, heating up in here and stuff. Then if you look over here, we have all your 110 breakers that are labeled. You got your main breakers, your bedroom, your GFIs, your furnace, all that good stuff that runs off 110 is all right there. And then we actually have a cover right here that is your 12-volt fuses. Cool thing about these fuse panels and stuff, that you can see these little red LED lights. If say you have one that went out and it's burned up, it will actually illuminate these lights to tell you which one is burnt. So it removes the process of elimination, having to pull them and look at them in the light and all that good stuff. Just a little bit to help out for you. You just pop this back on like that, and then that closes. And then for the slide, you actually got its own set of switches right here for it. The couches, they do recline. They're electric. They come in and out. There's also storage underneath. That comes with all the manuals and stuff to up there. We got your fridge. So it's got a on-off button, and then mode for either AC or AU, which means auto. So you could hit it and go to LP, so it's just running off propane, or you could change it to auto or strictly AC if you just want to run off electrical power. Then it has a temp button, 1 being warmer, 9 being colder, and you just put it in there. And, it's a really nice, clean unit. And it is very cold right now. I've had it running all morning. It's one of the biggest fridges they put inside of campers besides the residential ones. And you have plenty of storage cabinet space up below. And you have a really big residential style microwave in here that actually has the vent fan inside of it. So you do need 110 to actually run this vent fan instead of 12 volt like normal ones. It does have the surface light built in, and it is a convection oven as well. Then you got your stove, and it's got knobs to turn the gas up, and then a striker on it to light them. And same thing goes for your oven pilot. It's in there, and you just turn it up, turn it to pilot, push in, and then you would light it. And once it's lit, you would hold it and then turn to your desired temperature. That's pretty much it for the stove and stuff. And then just so you can see, we got the water pump on, and we have that bucket of antifreeze. And I'll show you, we got pressure, and it's all good. And, it's actually got changeable water variations. Then it's also got these covers and stuff you could put in there. Give you a little more counter space because it is limited, but they give you that to help out. You're going to follow me up here into the... If you want to look down here, this is what I was talking about as far as the vacuum system. You could flip this up and actually stick your hose in that. And there's more in the... There's some more of those in the garage as well. Here we have your propane detector. So it's closer to the ground because propane is more dense than oxygen is. So that's why they put it lower to here. But it is tied in to the house batteries to charge its internal battery. So if you ever see it blinking or something, that means it's running on its own battery itself, and it's not 100% charged. But if you hear it beeping or anything, the only time this is going to beep is if it detects any type of propane or isn't getting enough oxygen to the sensor. If you want to come up in here, we just got the bathroom.
I'll just walk through it.
Yep, it's a pretty big size shower, one of the biggest that this company makes, and it does have a skylight in it, so it gives you that much more clearance when you're standing in there. It does have the Aquamagic 2 style toilet, which is a harder porcelain, and it is bigger surface area and stuff, just for more comfortability and stuff like that. You do have 2 switches, one for a light and then one for the light inside the shower, give you a little more in there. Then you have these vents here that you could actually open up, and it does have a vent fan. Then you just pull this, come down. Plenty of counter space in here for an RV. And right here is the GFI that I was telling you about. So it does have the test and reset button. So if it does trip or fault, that you can come reset it here and then go back to doing what you're doing. In the bedroom, we have it's a king size bed, I believe. And if you look up under here, it's got both your tables, one for in front of the couch, one for in the back patio. And if you look in the closet here, we actually have all the legs and everything to those. Just for storage purposes, they want you to put them up under the bed just to keep them from falling and racking around. And there's plenty of closet space, and actually inside this closet is an area that you have the option to put a washer and dryer. If you want to do a combo, if you want to do stackables or what have you, you can actually install those here. Has some water lines. If you do want to put a dryer in, you will have to put a vent in, put a hole in the side of the camper. But it is a nice feature to have, and if you don't want it, you have all that much more closet space. And here we actually have another thermostat that controls just the air conditioner in the bedroom. So even though it has this furnace setting on here, it's not hooked to a furnace. So it's just for the air conditioner that's in this bedroom. You can designate this one to what you want this one to kick on and kick off at. And then you just have a light switch in here. Right here you got a, we call it the blue bag. So in every camper that you get these, it has paperwork and manuals and warranty stuff and service manuals and all that good stuff to anything and everything in the camper, from the toilet to the light bulbs to the microwave to the refrigerator. Anything and everything you need information on is inside the blue bag. And then in the bed slide, there's actually a switch for reading lights or what have you. And then you do have a manual hand crank for the antenna. So if you're going to be, trying to get some channels out while you're camping or stuff, you could actually pop this up, rotate it and pop it up. And then once you get it all the way up, you'll hear it max out, fill it. And once it maxes out, you can actually pull this down and oscillate the antenna to gain better clarity of your channel or what have you. And then to get it back down, you have to line these 2 little tabs right here up, and then you can bring it down until you feel it pull tight. And then last but not least, we can take it into the garage. So it does have a sliding glass door. It does have locking mechanisms where you could lock it up so nobody can get in or out or what have you. So you just pull this open, come back here. Got light switches up here on the top. You do have TVs back here. And you've got your awning. So this is for the rear awning where you can run it out and run it in. So there's actually one on this far side, on this door side, and there's actually one that comes out across the rear, expanding it out over the ramp and all that. And you just have the buttons for those there. Then you have lights awning lights for both those awnings. Then actually above these bunks, there is a ceiling controlled vent fan, and you could actually open the vent and close the vent from this button and turn the fan on. They just put the buttons and make it automatic like that, so you don't have to climb on the bed to actually do all that stuff. These are up as seats right now, and you could actually sit, and like I was saying, those poles from the closet can go here, and then a table would sit here, so you have like a dinette, so you can, you know, have breakfast or what have you out here. But you could actually take these, flip them like so, lay it out, and then flip this like so, and you could lay it out, and it creates a bed all the way across. And then you have a button back here for the bed lift, and you can bring it up. And then once it reaches the top, it will actually go and push that top bed up and stop and max out. And if you look here, in all these four corners, you have 4 pins, and you can actually pull those pins, and it will let that top bunk come down to about halfway, and then the bottom ones will come all the way to the bottom and allow you to have double queen size bunks. But if you're going to be hauling stuff in here, you raise them all the way up, and then you bring them in here, and you have all your tie downs and everything. What this is the back door. So when you lay this out, you could actually attach these cables to where it's not a ramp, it's actually a porch patio, and that's what these are here. So you could actually fold them out and make a porch type deal, and you could stick these doors up right here to actually close it off so that you don't have bugs or critters or what have you getting in. That's about it. You got access out here just for outside to get out of here. You do have these vents right here for if you have fuel or anything in here. Helps ventilate or what have you. Tons of storage space. There are speakers back here that you can designate. Just a better look at all those. That's pretty much it.